How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today I want to talk to you about some altcoins I think will do really well this bull run. Some of them are already doing really well, and some of these are some of my larger altcoin holdings. Now, I'll give you some of my thoughts on some of the big cryptos, and then we'll go into the more degen stuff all the way down to a very small new crypto. But of course, do your own research, right? I don't know your risk tolerance. I don't know what your portfolio looks like already. And the fact is, I'm going to sell all my altcoins during this bull run, but I still think this is a chance where you can get in before a lot of cryptos are at all-time highs. Obviously, Bitcoin is at all-time highs, seeing a little bit of a pullback today, but pretty much everything else is lower than all-time highs from last cycle, with the exception of just one or two newer cryptocurrencies. So I think this is a chance to get in before we actually break out in terms of total too. We'll talk about this. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. I think it's a great time to be trading using leverage if you aren't too risky with it, right? If you can control yourself and you can wait and you can not get greedy, you can actually make a good amount of money leverage trading. There's a link to BTCC underneath the video in case you want to start leverage trading over there, or in case you want to try out BTCC. When you use that link, you get a 10% deposit bonus on your first time deposit. You also get lower trading fees. You get extra bonuses up to $10,000 per user. So check this out underneath the video. No KYC right now. So let's get into it. We'll start with some of the bigger cryptos, right? I think it makes sense. Everyone should have a bag of Bitcoin, right? Some people will say, well, I'm not going to buy that because it's just too late. The fact is, if there are countries buying, which it seems like there are, we actually just heard from CZ that UAE already has Bitcoin in their reserves, and it's inevitable for Hong Kong to buy Bitcoin. We have heard from several other sources that there are going to be multiple countries that are already going to be buying Bitcoin here in the very short term. There's a change of FASB accounting rules. There are a lot of different things that are happening that are very bullish for Bitcoin. The fact is, even if it doesn't move as quickly as some of these altcoins, you might want to have a bag just in case we don't really come back down anytime soon. You might want to add to it because it is less risky than all the altcoins that we'll be talking about in today's video. Okay, it's far down the risk curve from something like the S&P 500. It's a lot more volatile, but again, it's nothing like the cryptos that we'll be talking about today, especially some of the later ones that are really small. Then Ethereum. Obviously, Ethereum, number 2, largest market cap by far besides Bitcoin. I mean, it's 3.5 times the size of the next largest crypto. The fact is, there's just so much built on it. The ETFs are up and running, and we're seeing sometimes hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of Ethereum bought, which will send up the price, to be clear. Like, it is relatively small compared to Bitcoin. I think a lot of institutions will probably look at Ethereum or adding Ethereum as this bull run goes on. So yeah, I think it makes sense to have a little bit of Ethereum. Now, you could also get into something like XRP or Solana. These are much smaller. Obviously, very different things. Solana is similar to Ethereum. It's a layer 1. A lot of things are built on it. DeFi, gaming, AI, and the fact is, this is like the darling of the last 4 years. Last cycle, it did extremely well. This cycle, it's done extremely well. It was hated in the bear market. Now it's up significantly, and I am long this. This is one of my largest bags, and yeah, it's done extremely well. It hasn't moved in a little while, to be clear. Let's look at the 1 month. It has not broken to new, or it's actually down from where it was about 3 weeks ago. So it's having a little bit of cool off period, which I actually like. You can actually see this prior resistance around 203 could be flipped into support. Even if we don't come down all the way down to 203, the fact is we're in the same zone. 2 to 220, I think, is a pretty solid zone for us to bounce off of. And yeah, this has done so well. I think it's going to continue to do well. There's a big chance that we'll have a Solana ETF. And again, I realize I'm talking about big caps here. We'll get into the smaller caps here in a second, mid caps. But XRP, so many people love XRP. So many people hate XRP. The fact is, if you are someone that wants to find a very strong community, if you're wanting to find someone that is very well connected, XRP is one of those coins, right? Brad Garlinghouse just went on 60 Minutes for 15 minutes and talked about crypto and XRP. It is significantly up from a month or two ago, and it's close to its all-time high. $3.36. It's actually beating the all-time high in terms of market cap, and it's been really strong recently. Now it's cooling down a little bit, but with the change in leadership in the government, I think XRP could be a winner. Of course, it is larger than a lot of other cryptocurrencies. Keep in mind too, right? We're talking about all these. There's going to be extreme volatility. We could go down 30, 40, 50%. And that's in the bull market. We could go down more than that during the bull market. But when we do eventually break out, and I do think we're going to break out, and we go above this total 2 all-time high, which was set at the beginning, I believe, of last bull market. Actually the end of last bull market, November 2021, we're around 1.71. That's about 10% higher, 15% higher than we are right now. We're going to see insane moves. Like we're already seeing that with some of the altcoins I'll talk about today. But we'll see 30% moves from the layer ones, just like we were a couple weeks ago. We'll see 40% moves, 200% moves from some mid caps, and 1,000% moves from small caps. So that's why I talk about altcoins. I don't think of them as like these assets that I want to hold forever because they're going to be life-changing. Sure, some of them will hit mainstream and really take off and be like a stable asset for a long time. But I think of it more as a casino, right? Bitcoin is my savings account. I have investments outside of crypto to diversify. Altcoins are the thing that I flip to have some cash during the bear market. So you have to be ready to take profits on this stuff. To be clear, you have to be willing to pull the trigger and lose 60, 70, 80%, 100% on some of these cryptos. But you can make a lot of money, to be clear. So I just want to lead with that before we get into some of the riskier stuff. And then obviously there are some layer ones that are further down the list that I think could do really well. Chainlink, it's going to be here forever. Sui has been a darling of this bull market, hitting all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. I think the most recent all-time high was in the last week. It was like 3 days ago, $4.45. Just doing incredibly well, and that's around a $12 billion market cap. It could go up to 50, it could go up to 100 this bull market. Then obviously there are a lot of like meme coins that have done extremely well, like Pepe, that will probably stick around, and it's just hitting new all-time high after new all-time high. You can see it flipping resistance into support recently too, extremely bullish. But let's get into some of the smaller stuff. CoreDAO, this is a crypto that I invested in earlier this year. It ran up after I invested in it almost to $4 from 55 cents towards the beginning of the year when Bitcoin was doing extremely well. This was around the Bitcoin narrative. A lot of cryptos built on Bitcoin were doing extremely well, and this is a pretty good explanation of it. CoreDAO is a blockchain initiative designed to enhance Bitcoin's utility in the DeFi space by integrating it with smart contract capabilities and additional blockchain features. It operates on the core chain, the first Bitcoin-aligned Ethereum virtual machine blockchain, utilizing a distinctive consensus mechanism known as Satoshi Plus. This merges delegated proof of work with delegated proof of stake and non-custodial Bitcoin staking. So you can actually get a yield on Bitcoin non-custodial. So really bullish on this. There have been actually there's at least one public company that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars that's added Core and used Core to get some yield as well. They've added the Core token to their balance sheet too, over $1 million. I believe that's DeFi Tech. If you haven't already seen them, go check them out. But they also just passed 1 billion in TVL. I think there's going to be a resurgence of the Bitcoin narrative where people want to do things on Bitcoin and bring some of the DeFi capabilities over to Bitcoin. I think a lot of people are interested in that. A lot of large entities are interested in getting some yield. You just have to do it in a very safe way. And of course, there's always risk with any of this, but I really like what Core's doing. Another one to look at, Supra. I'm not sure I've ever talked about this one on the channel. I'm actually an early investor in this. I've been invested in it for years, actually, even though it just launched in the last week. It ran up. Look at this. It went from 0.008 to 0.05. So it went up 700% from the bottom just in the last week or two. To be clear, like I said, I am an early investor in this. They announced the TGA as the mainnet goes live in partnership with multiple exchanges. Yeah, they're very well connected. Actually, they just talked on Altcoin Daily. The person that founded this, I believe, talked on it. And let me just play it for you to explain what Supra is.
So and you kind of just got into this, but for somebody who's never heard of Supra, what is it? And is it more of a layer one like a Solana or more of an Oracle service like a Chainlink?
You know, what we say is that when I say to like a general audience, what I say is, well, imagine if Solana and Chainlink merged with Layer 0 all in one. That's what Super is doing. So it is a Layer 1 smart contract platform. But also it's with native oracles. We have very good algorithms for our oracles, price feeds, cross-chain communication, on-chain randomness, and also automation. The oracle problem is more than just price feeds. But what makes it special is it's shared security, it's low latency, it's very fast, and it's a single chain where a developer doesn't have to focus on all these external networks and juggle multiple tokens. It's just one chain that has all these tools that allow the developer to do things they literally cannot do elsewhere. Now, one last thing I should mention is our consensus algorithm itself is very, very high performing as well. Extreme throughput, low latency. So when I say low latency, that just means fast finality. So we're, apples to apples. If you were to compare Solana's algorithms to Supra's, we actually outperform them.
And that.
Okay, so this is around a $300 million market cap right now. Fully diluted, it is $5 billion, so it's going to dilute a lot. But during a bull run, it doesn't really matter that much. Like in a bear market, over a long period of time, dilution matters. But in a bull market, it doesn't really matter because the demand is so much more than the supply. So I think this could run up very significantly to maybe a few $billion, which is still a huge jump from here. Now, I would do more research on all these, by the way, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm invested in that. Altura is another one that I've talked about a little bit more recently. We talked about it last week and maybe the week before. This did extremely well last bull run. It went up from half of a penny, if that, to 35 cents. So it did like a 70x over a couple months. Now, this merges AI and gaming. This is something that they just posted about recently. It gives you a pretty good idea for what they're doing. And Alex Becker says very, very big up. They say, unveiling the Altura Intelligence Toolkit built for boundless creativity. With our game-changing AI toolkit, we're rewriting the rules for builders and players alike. Here's how 5 groundbreaking tools will redefine game development forever. AI asset generation tool. What if creating in-game assets was as easy as clicking a button? With Altura's AI asset generation tool, developers and players can design assets with just one click. No hassle, just streamline creativity for Web3 games. NPC engine. Have you ever met an NPC that felt too robotic? Not anymore. Altura's NPC engine brings non-playable characters to life by giving developers the power to craft NPCs that think, adapting to their environment. That seems really interesting. That seems like one of those things. I don't know if you've ever done this, but you find like a new AI and you just play with it for like 2 hours. I did that the other day with Amazon's new AI. I was looking for gifts for people and I just ended up playing with it, looking up different things, interacting with it back and forth to find gifts for people that I thought they'd like. And it was really interesting. And then I realized I've been doing this for literally hours. This is something that could happen with Altura. So I really like this. Fact is, at $126 million market cap, I think it's going to do extremely well this bull run. You can see it's already hit new all-time highs in terms of market cap, but I think it's going to run a lot harder, especially with AI and gaming, I think, being undervalued right now, especially compared to how much hype there is. I think Altura is going to run. Another AI crypto that I'm invested in along with Altura is TARS AI. This is a $250 million market cap. This is like a toolkit on Solana. They also have a search engine. TARS AI is making waves in the Solana ecosystem, hitting a major usage milestone that reflects rapid adoption and real impact. Every interaction brings TARS closer to the vision for AI-driven innovation on Solana, setting a new standard for what's possible. So, I mean, you're mixing the best layer 1 blockchain with AI. And yeah, this thing's going to be explosive. It has been explosive. If we go back over the 1 year, Again, kind of, I mean, facing some resistance, flipping it into support, and then running up. So it's at 40 cents, 36 cents. I think it's going to run faster. It's done about a 10x over the last 7-8 months. Again, these could see pullbacks because they've moved up so quickly. But here they talk about it a little bit more. TARS AI is an AI architecture protocol on Solana offering AI tools, apps, and insights for 1 million plus users. Yeah, and then let's go into the degen stuff. Of course, there's stuff in between 100 million and like 1 or 2 million, but this is a meme coin that I bought today, just a small amount to be clear. It's McRib. This is playing on, like, there was a Costco hot dog meme coin that did extremely well, and it's similar to that, but but McRib is like just back for a little while on at McDonald's, and I think there's some lore behind when the McRib comes back, crypto pumps as well. So to be clear, this one is by far the most risky crypto on this list. It's like under $1 million market cap. The fact is, it could go down to zero, right? I bought some. This is like the meme coin casino where you take like calculated bets and think that things are going to pump. I will take profits on this if it pumps up aggressively, and I'm okay if it goes down to zero. They're doing something too with Memopoly, like you can buy NFTs, and then I heard the other day that someone won a cruise, and basically the person just wanted to be paid out in Solana, and they just paid them in Solana. But you can get like a Tesla, a Rolex, stuff like that. So you can check this out too if you're interested. But obviously this is a little bit riskier. They have a Twitter where you can look at they have a link to Jupiter where you can buy it. Don't buy it on Radium because there's someone that set up their own pool, but the reason I like this too, besides just like the fact that I think it could run, you can see like resistance flipping into support possibly. And I've seen this so many times with meme coins, and they can run pretty hard. But of course, do your own due diligence. Like I said, like that's extremely risky. So yeah, if you buy it, just assume they will go down to zero and then hope that it pumps, because that's about what I'm doing. Of course, though, I do think it could pump pretty significantly. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. The fact is, Bitcoin is down a little bit right now, but it's not anything to be concerned about in my mind. I think now is kind of a time where you can dollar cost average before this next leg up, especially if there are really countries that are buying Bitcoin. This is the time to get in before we see insane moves, insane injections of liquidity. Of course, though, we can see dips, so be ready for anything. Again, if you want to trade crypto, there's a link to BTCC underneath the video. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next one.